Here, pass it to me. Good morning.
If you can hear me, you can probably hear me, you just can't see me.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Excellent. And then where did this go in? Down here?
I think yeah.
It'll be okay?
Yeah.
I'll plug it in anyways. Awesome, awesome.
And then you'll see.
Good, good, good. Good morning, good morning. I see some of you already logging on. I am early. We always want to make sure that we are working. There we go. Fran, already had you. So now I know I'm live and ready to go. So good morning. Yeah, we'll take a few minutes because like I said, we are a few minutes early. But I always want to make sure, like I've said in the past, I am so not techie. So I always have to have my backup people, Diane and Stacy, to bail me out and that as well. Thank you. Who was it that just said? Gail, thank you so much. Yes, I did have a nice big birthday. It's my 60th birthday this year, and it was nice. It's a Tuesday, so Tuesday birthdays as they go. But the main thing is I got to see my kids and my grandson, so that was the most important thing. So yeah, there'll be celebrations, I'm sure, to follow and a trip coming up. So that'll be great as well. But thank you so much. Yeah, it was a very nice day and a beautiful morning here this morning in Langley as well. We've got the sun shining, still a little bit cold, but it is a beautiful, beautiful morning. So yeah, that's it. We'll create together, and I'm happy to see you all coming on this morning and joining with me. I really do appreciate it. A couple of things. As you can see on the board, I do have just 2 cards. I've kind of come to the conclusion because I hate rushing and I hate rushing all of you. And so what I'm going to go probably through the future, you never know what the kid is and that kind of thing as well. But I think we'll concentrate on doing 2 cards, and then I always have an inspiration card that I will show at the end of the hour, and I will post the card and the instructions afterwards. And sometimes I have 2. This time I have 1 and something to show you just in case you happen to have a die as well for a different a different card too. So I think it kind of works out better. I know a lot of you have commented that you enjoy the fact that it's kind of slow paced and that kind of thing as well. So I hope you continue to enjoy my cards and my classes. Of course, they always have embossing folders on it. You know that. And but no, it's a joy to be able to teach this with you. I really do enjoy the crafty hours, and I appreciate again Courtney and Deanna giving me the opportunity to do it. So, okay, well, I think we are after 10. Are we? According to my watch, we are. So we can go ahead and get started. Like I say, it is a virtual crafty hour, so you can always watch it again. You can, sit and have your coffee or tea and just enjoy and get the ideas. And maybe it's something that you don't want to use the paper that we're doing today, or you want to change things up. That's entirely up to you. That's why we call it crafty hours. So it just gives you some ideas to go based on. And from the comments that we've been hearing, you're still really enjoying it. This is crafty hour number 35, I believe we just determined. Yes. So we're already coming up on 40, which is just crazy. But it's a lot of fun to be able to do this with you in the morning. I really do enjoy it. So we're going to start off with, I'll put this card over here to the side for now. We are going to start off with this card. And this card is called a crossover gate card. I found it and I thought, well, it was kind of a little bit different. I thought it was a great way to be able to use the paper that we were using, the very cute Easter paper, but you could use it for so many occasions, all your occasions, your regular occasions, birthdays, sympathy, Christmas, anything. And it's just kind of a neat card because the way that it opens, and of course we're going to go through it, but it just kind of crosses over at the front. So this is what you see on the inside of the card. And we will make the little insert as well, so you would have somewhere to watch or to write on. And then when you go to close it, all you do is you basically just tuck it underneath the topper, just like that, and it crosses over. So I thought it was kind of a little bit different than just a gatefold or anything like that. So I thought, let's play around with this one. And again, I will be posting the cards after Crafty Hour, and then I do have my sheets written out for the dimensions and that kind of thing as well. So you can take photos of these, go back. Like I say, it's you're always able to go back to the Crafty Hours, all of them from number 1. You can always go back to them. So that's just great. So I'm going to put this here just so you can see it. Move it down a tiny bit. There we go. So this is what we're going to start with. We're going to start by doing our cutting, and then we'll kind of put it all together if that works well for you as well. So we're going to start with our card base. So I'm just going to pop this up here. See if I can get it down enough in the camera. Perfect. And I asked you to just, in homework, just to have sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And then as you can see in this one, I did use the gold foil. I asked you to, if you had pink foil or pink glitter, that's for the second card. You could use it in the first card as well. But I'm never sure exactly what people have at home and in their stash. So it kind of just gives you a template to go based on. You can always use cardstock. You can always eliminate a piece. Again, these Crafty Hours are for you to be able to create as well. So we'll start with our card base. So I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and we are going to cut that to 8.5 by 5.5. So obviously we already know we have the 8.5 this way. So we're just going to cut a 5.5 inch piece off. So just like that. So I have my 8.5 width and my 8.5 length, 5.5 width, whatever you want to do it. That's what we're starting with for our card base. And if you have your scoreboard or this Spellbinders trimmer, I tell you, I just love it because of the fact that it holds my cutting tool as well as my score blade right on the trimmer itself. I don't have to go looking for my little scoring blades. So it's really a great trimmer. So we're going to score it at 2 1/8. So if you just put it into your trimmer, it's between the 2 and the 2 1/4. So 2 1/8, don't cut it. Use your scoring. I do that all the time. So 2 1/8, and you are just going to score it. Do your score lines, just like that. And then you can just move it along. I'm just going to move the card just for 1 second. And pull this out. And we are going to score it again at 6 3/8. So there's 1, 2, 3 is really just on the edge of my trimmer. And it depends on the trimmer, of course, that you're using. But you're going to score it again at 6 3/8. So those are your 2 scorings. There we go. That's our base done. So we can just set that aside for now. Just put it over here to the side. I'll bring my card back in here. And I will move this out of the way if everybody had a chance to take a look at the cut and the scoring dimensions. Again, you can always reach out and I can give them to you as well. So what we're going to do next, again, like I say, to me, it's always easier to sort of cut all our pieces and then put it all together. That works the best for me. So where I say flap mats, these are these 2 little guys, the top and the bottom, the rectangles at the top and the bottom. So again, we're going to take a piece of cardstock. You still have the piece that you have cut off of your 8.5 by 11 piece. So you would be able to use that if you'd like. And we are going to cut 2 of each of these. So the white cardstock, we're going to cut it by 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So it's just your rectangular piece. Just like that. And that, if you see it on the card, that's what's forming this your little flap. Okay, so you want to cut 2 of those. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 again. Okay, so we have our 2 white pieces that have been cut. So now in my card, I'll just stick those aside just for a second. I used the gold foil. And the only reason I used that, I could have used my pink or whatever color, a matching cardstock, but I know a lot of you have been buying the gold mirrored paper either in the mats or in the full packs. So I thought sometimes gold is one of the easier ones to be able to tell you to have on hand. But again, it's totally up to you. If you'd rather use a cardstock or something like that, you're welcome to as well. All right, so we're going to grab some gold foil. I've got some pieces here, so I'm just going to play around with those guys. And we are going to, again, cut 2 pieces. So we're going to mat it. We're matting our egg paper, basically. So we're going to cut 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. So 2 5/8 is the line that is just over 2 1/2. So it's between 2 1/2 and 2 3/4. If you can see that on the trimmer, if I pull that up a little bit. So 2 1/2 and then 1 more 1/8 is 2 5/8. So just go to 2 5/8 and cut. And by 3 5/8. So just over the 3 1/2 is that. And if you pulled up your white, you can see that that just fits. So your white is on the outside, and that is what's going to mat our egg paper when we put that onto our card. So you want to have 2 of those as well. So we're going to cut the another 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. Everybody's okay? Crafting along in the morning. Okay, so we have 2 gold, 2 white at this point. So that's perfect. Now, again, you had a whole pad, a beautiful pad of awesome pattern papers that you were given for this class. You are welcome to use another one. Just keep in mind that we're never sure what Courtney's going to do. She does her class later this afternoon. So you can use what I use, or you're welcome to use another one. Because they're so cute and springy, really, you can mix and match all of them for sure. But I use the really cute egg paper, the one that says, hip hip hooray, have an excellent Easter, you're a good egg. So I use that to do it. I just thought it was really pretty with the, put that up there, with the pink and everything too. And it matches our little bunny that we're gonna do in a minute for the topper. Okay, so we're gonna cut our egg paper now at 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. And again, you're gonna want 2. And of course you wanna make sure that you're cutting it the right way, because this is one that has, it going the certain way for you. So you wanna make sure you're cutting your 2 1/2 this way and by 3 1/2. That's one piece. And again, if we go back, that gold is just going to mat our pattern paper. So that's perfect. And we want 2 of them. So 2 1/2 again, lengthwise, and 3 1/2. I don't get really concerned with, that the egg is matching the top egg and all that kind of thing, especially because we're going to put this cute little topper on here. So you're kind of missing the first 2 line, or the bottom line of the first one and the top one. It doesn't really make too much of a difference to me, but if you wanted to, you could do it, slice and then cut it. That way you probably would have more of a running look. But like I say, it's not too much of a concern for me. So, and then the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to stick those dimensions. Everybody's okay with the dimensions on there. And again, feel free to take a photo or something as well. And you can always reach out to me as well if you're not sure. Okay, so then the only other thing we're going to do to form the base of our card is cut 2 striped strips. And where you can see these striped strips, if I open up my card, see they're right here on our flaps where we have scored. I just put them on the 2 sides of the flaps. Once I had finished the card, I also thought you could put them on the inside as well. And you're, like I say, you're going to have lots of extra paper. So if you wanted to also put a strip on the inside so it was a little bit more detailed, you could do that as well. I just eliminated it just for time reasons and also because you just might not want to have it as much on the inside of your card. So the striped piece, of course, is what I used, which is this one here. And I mean, I like it to be able to cut my strips this way so you get like the nice detail. You can do it the other way if you want as well, but I just like to have the narrow going down this way. So the stripes are on a horizontal. So 1 3/4. Well, I guess what you can do is you can cut your 5 1/2 first because we know we're going to cut 2 of them. So cut your 5 1/2. That way you only have to do that once. And then 2 1 3/4 pieces. So we've got 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. And you're still left with some extra. So you could even cut a smaller strip, like cut what's left of this in half and put it on the inside if you wanted to. If you didn't want to have a wide stripe, you wouldn't need to either. It would just give a little bit of detail to the inside. So that is your 2 strips that we're going to put on the flaps of your card. So you can just set those aside. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do our, let's build our card base and then we'll do our little topper at the end, our little bunny topper at the end. So we can now go ahead and build or put together the card base itself. So let's make sure that we put all of our, let's do our pieces first. So if you want to grab your little stack of pieces here that we have, actually I'm just going to set my trimmer aside for a second because I don't need it right now. Make it a little bit easier to see the card. Where did my, here we go. So yeah, so now all we're going to do is I did these all flat. I didn't put any foam tape. If you wanted to put foam tape, and I do apologize, I was reading my homework sheet today, and if you see where I put foil tape, probably all of you went, I have no idea what foil tape is. It was supposed to say foam. But I think probably when I put strips or pop dots, you probably got the gist. But anyhow, I just noticed that this morning. So anyways, so you could definitely pop these up. I just, like I say, made them flat just because I thought the card itself was a little bit popped up. And once we put this, we'll put this little guy on with foam tape and he'll come up a bit. But you're welcome to do as much of it as you want. It's entirely up to you. So you can use a tape runner, you can use a double-sided tape, you can use glue, whatever you want to use to just be able to put your pieces together. That's all you have to worry about. So let's take our egg paper that we have here, and we are going to mat that onto our gold foil. And like I say, it's just going to have a very narrow little border around it. So just take your runner or your glue and just stick that on there. So yeah, just a very narrow little border. And then you can put it onto your white flat piece. And again, if you'd prefer to have a little bit more volume, go ahead with your foam. Otherwise, just go ahead and glue them together. Okay, so that forms our little flap that's going to go up here at the top. That's going to form our flap there. So we can set one aside and then go ahead and do your second one as well. I just thought it was kind of a fun little card, especially because when it flaps open like that, you could have a cute little gift card or a photo or something inside it as well. Just a little bit different than just a regular card. Put it off. Thank you. There's our gold, and then our gold onto our white. Everybody's okay? Hope. Yeah, something a little bit different. I tell you, Pinterest is a wealth of information when you just want to put, you know, interactive cards or something like that. They give you some great ideas. Some of them are just so detailed, and when we have an hour for Crafty Hour, I just never like to do anything that is too detailed. But it certainly gives you lots to go based on. So those are our two little flaps. What we're going to do now is bring our card back into play. So our base of our card, and you can just fold in your two flaps. And if you've got I didn't throw mine in today, but if you've got a burner, you know, a bone folder or something, you may want to give it a little bit crisper detail on the side there. Okay, so before we attach our flaps, we want to attach our striped pieces. And they are just going to go right in the center of the card. And they should be flush to the top and bottom. And then I just centered it. So I had a little bit of a border on either side of that. And again, I would just do that flat for sure, just because you don't want to have that bulk. So you're just going to put that guy right here in the center. It's a tiny little bit off on the bottom. You could always cut it off a little tiny bit more if you wanted to as well, but I'm not going to worry about it today. But yes, go ahead. And then you're going to want to do your other one on your other flap. So again, right in the center, we've just got a bit of a white border on either side. So there is our base. Okay, everybody okay? Everyone's doing okay? Good, good. All right, so now we're going to attach our flap mats. So we can go ahead and attach these, and then we will build our little topper. So what we need to do, what you want to make sure of on this one here, is you want to attach the flap mats to the flaps top and bottom, but make sure they're flush to the edge of the card and to the top and bottom corner. Okay, so they're going to go flush up to the top corner like that. And then this one down here is going to go flush to the bottom corner. Okay, so that's what's going to form our little crossover card. So just flush up at the top and flush at the bottom. And of course you want to make sure you're just putting your adhesive on the flap part. You don't want to have any adhesive in here because you won't be able to open your card, of course. But yeah, so you just want to put your adhesive right around this way here. Or you can put like strips into the center here. Just make sure you don't go too far down because again, you don't want it to stick. Okay, so just flush up here at the top. So we can do our top one first. I'm just going to put it, this is the side we're sticking down. So probably just like about 3 rows of adhesive like that. Just like that. And that is holding our first flap. Okay, just like that. And then same thing down here. We're going to attach our flap at the bottom. So then again, once we have, see when I cross that over, and then once we have our little topper up here, that's what's going to, hold on, let me have this here. Make sure I've got this right. Yep, just like that. And just like that. So when you open up the card, just like I have shown it here, that's what it's going to look like on the inside. Okay, so just like that on the bottom. So again, just make sure that it's flush and that you're not putting any extra adhesive. And that's just going to go down here at the bottom. And actually, when I was saying earlier that, you know, the paper stripe hung over a teeny bit, doesn't really matter because you don't see it once you put that on there. So that is what your card is looking at on the inside. And then of course we are going to cross this over and we'll put the little topper, and the topper will hold it in place. So that's where we're at the moment. Everybody okay? Good, good. Okay, so let's go and build our little bunny topper. So the bunny piece is actually one of your sheets of paper. And I used the cute little purple one because, again, I thought that it matched our bunny paper really cute. So we're just going to cut out, I'll just stick my card here to the side, the bunny topper piece. Here's our dimensions for that. Okay, so we're going to take this little guy here, and these I believe are 2 by 2. I cut it to about 1 7/8 to 1 7/8, so just under the 2. But let's just see. Let me see when I cut this here how we are. You don't want to have any kind of an edge or anything on it either. No, it is perfectly 1 7/8, so you don't even have to cut it down. So you just want to do 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, so that is just under your 2. And that's our little purple guy, the Hi There Hop stuff. And you don't have to worry about it. I covered the Hi There Hop stuff and put my little Easter wishes on there. You can keep that and put your Easter wishes down or wherever you'd like to have it. But I like having the little banner on there too. And like I say, you've got lots of extras to be able to play with the rest of your cards. So there is your bunny piece. Now we're just going to cut a little piece of white cardstock. I probably still had a little scrap here somewhere. Yep. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece of cardstock white, and we just want to do 2 by 2. So again, it's just going to be a tiny little border around the outside. And that is just going to mat your little bunny piece, the 2 by 2. So you're going to attach that to your white piece flat. Okay, so there we go. We've got our little matted piece there. And then we're just going to grab another scrap of our gold piece. You might even, I'm sure, off the same sheet or whatever you were using. We just wanted 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 piece of gold. And look at that. That's already 2 1/8. How about that? That was the luck of the draw right there. So 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 is your gold. And again, if you're using other colors, go for it. Like, you can use whatever you like. If you'd rather have cardstock or a different color or glitter or the mauve or whatever you have in your stash, that's the most important thing for you to be able to do whatever you want. And then I did use foam squares or foam pop dots or foam tape just to attach this to the gold, just because then it really does give the dimension on that. So I'm just going to use 4 of these little squares. Make it easy. And the other thing is, when I did this card, at the end of putting it together, I actually tied a ribbon around it and made it more like a little gifty card too, which is really cute. So just a you know, narrow piece of like a satin ribbon or something. It looked really neat around the outside of it. Okay, so there is our matted. So we've got our little bunny onto the white cardstock and then onto the gold mirrored. And very narrow little border, but it just gives that little bit of dimension. Okay, so now we are going to attach the two pieces with the onto your card. Okay, so we're going to attach this onto our card just like I did there. Where's my card? I have to put it. Is it hiding? Here it is. Okay, so now we are going to, so I've got my crossover pieces here. Gotta have it this way. Okay, so, hold on, I gotta get this the right way. There we go. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. When we've got it crossed over, it's going to be crossed over just like this. That's, see, my card is closed at the moment. So I've got this piece here, this piece here. So we are going to attach this bunny. Now, what you want to make sure is that you're attaching the bunny, and I did it with foam tape, but you want to make sure that you're only gluing the top part of this, because this little flap is what's going to tuck in there to make your crossover, like that. So don't put any glue down on the bunny or you won't be able to get it to cross over. So you just want to attach it, and I did use foam again, just to give it that little bit more of a dimension. So really a couple of foam strips or a couple of foam squares is all you really need, just up at the top. Just like that. And I did it quite a little ways down just because then it was going to give it the best chance to be able to hold it in place. So just like that. Okay, everybody okay? See how I've done that? So then when you go to close your card, all you really do is you just kind of tuck it underneath. And when I was doing it, I was kind of like, I can kind of see if you did that over and over and over again, then it would kind of start to bow maybe a little bit. But I didn't think it really mattered too much. And like I said, when I completed the card the first time, I tied like a little ribbon with a little bow here. And then that way, if you were giving it as a gift with a gift card in it, it's really like the little gift all on its own. So it turned out really well. And it kind of held it a little bit more in place. But I think, like I say, I forgot my, bone folder in that today too. So if you've got that, it really holds it nice. It's cute. And the idea is so that people will know that they can flip it open like that too. Okay, so that's our base. There we go. We're done with that guy. I'm just going to put it to the side. And then to do your inside, grab my inside dimensions here for you. Okay, so if you want to do the inside, you would do a piece of white cardstock, and it would just be 4 by 5 1/4. White cardstock, or if you wanted to just write directly on the card, you could do that too. I just thought this sort of finished it a little bit nicer, so I just did it this way. But yeah, you could mat a piece of the pattern paper on the inside, however you wanted to do it. At least you have the dimensions, so you'll know where you want to be able to put your have your sizing for you. So that's your white that you would write your sentiment on. And then I matted it again in gold, just to give it that little bit of extra. And it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 4 1/8, just over the 4 by 5 3/8, and 5 3/8 is just under the 5 1/2. So that, again, a very narrow border, but that would fit on the inside of your card. So just like that. And then the last thing that I did on the inside of my card, this was one of your die cuts, the cute little heart. I just put foam tape in behind that and stuck it down here on the corner, just to, again, give it a little bit of something on the inside. And like I say, you could do strips here, you could do pattern paper, you could emboss, you could do whatever you wanted on the inside too, to give it a little bit of extra too. So yeah, so all you'd want to do is just stick these together, and I would put it on the inside flat, because I think that if you're going to put it on to on with foam tape, it is going to pop that card out a little bit too much for my liking. If you don't mind that it's kind of a little bit thicker, you could definitely do it, but I just thought it was better to just mat it and then just stick it to the inside of my card flat. So just like that. There we go. And then all I did was take my little die cut. I had it here somewhere. I'm not sure where I put them. But anyways, your little heart, you just want to put it down here, or you could use one of the other things. You have lots of stuff that you have in your kit too, which is just great. And not to mention that, you have all of these awesome gems. So on the outside of my card, to finish it, go back around here to the front of my card, I added just a couple of the little purple gems. You could add them all over the eggs if you wanted to as well, or around the little flower wreath on the little bunny's head. And then the Easter wishes, the only thing I did with the Easter wishes is I just cut off the little spot that had the little hole here at the end of Easter wishes, and I covered up the Hey There hop stuff. But you don't need to. You could put it down here. You just want to close your card first so you kind of see where you're at. And then you could put it down in this area, have the little flowers. Or if you have a sentiment stamp that says Happy Easter or something too, you could definitely go ahead and use these. But these little flags were kind of cute. And I just put that on with a little bit of foam tape just in this area, of course, because you don't want to have it stuck to the flap. And like I say, when I did it initially, I tied a little bit of ribbon around it, and you could tuck a little gift card inside there too. So that's kind of a fun little card, and it's called a crossover gate card. So just something a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed that one, our number one card. So I'll just stick that one over here to the side. Everybody's okay? I didn't rush you along too much, I hope. Val, yes, how can I show it again how it tucks under? So you've got your little, once you have your little bunny topper here, all you're kind of doing it is you're just sort of folding it. So you're just sort of bowing it under, and then that goes underneath your topper. And the little topper is what holds it in place, just like that. So I hope that that answers your question. And like I say, I think that if you really used your bone folders, had this a little bit stronger, but I don't even mind like that it's like that it's kind of popped up. It kind of shows that it's a interactive card. So I think that's kind of a neat idea to be able to have it. And again, I would tie some ribbon even this way or this way, and it would hold it right in place to give to your, when you're giving it to somebody as a little gift too. Can you show the measurements for the pattern paper again? Sure. For which part of it, Leslie Ann? Was it for the toppers or the flaps? Whichever you needed to have a little bit more dimension on. This is the dimensions for the flap mats, if that was the one that you were talking about. And then the other pattern paper we used was for the stripes. And I can't find my little piece at the moment for the stripe papers. They were like 1 3/4, I believe, by 5 1/2, something like that. And that was the only other pattern paper we used, except for the little bunny. And the bunny topper was the 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and that was cut off of this, your little sheet that you had all the little cute little pattern guys on there. So that might, hopefully that helps. And if you're not sure, again, please message me and I'll be able to to add any more for you. Okay, so there's our first card done. I hope you enjoyed that one. I thought it was kind of like I say, a little bit different. The second card we're going to do, and we're doing great for time. That's awesome. So the second card we're going to do, and we've done these before, but I just love them. And especially, I don't know, when it's Easter and that too, I just think it's such a cute way of using your embossing folders and making a little easel card. I love easel cards. I know Diana uses them quite a bit as well. And it's just a fun little way to be able to put together an interactive card that doesn't take a long time and then also folds fairly flat to be able, again, you could tie ribbon around this or put it into an envelope too. A little bit bulkier because I used our buttons, but you don't have to. You can make it thinner if you need to as well. So I'm just going to stick this guy over here to the side. Maybe I'll put him down like that for now, just because I think that'll be a little bit clearer for you to be able to see the card itself. And I will grab my dimensions here for this one too. So the only thing I asked you to do this time was 2 embossed pieces, and that was for this card, of course. So this one is a little bit, is the only one I used embossing paper on, which is, or an embossed image on, which is amazing, isn't it, for me? So anyways, so we're going to start with our base. So this is our easel card. Got that written out for you. Fix that. Yep, that's in view good. All right, so we're going to again get a piece of our 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. I use the Nina cardstock. I know people have other cardstocks they use. This one is like 110 pound and I absolutely love it. I think it embosses the nicest, and I just, yeah, it's my favorite go-to cardstock. So we're going to start with our piece of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock, and we are going to cut the piece to 4 1/4 by 8.5. So it's already, again, 8.5 wide. We're just going to cut a 4 1/4 inch piece. So just like that. We'll score it in a minute, but that is our, basically our easel piece. And then if you can also cut 1 4 1/4 inch square. So you can cut it off that same piece because you've got it right there beside you. And you want 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so we have that. So now we are going to score our easel card. Leave my cutter up there. And we are going to score at 4 1/4. Cutter, no. Okay, so I've got my scoring blade here. So 4 1/4. So basically that's the half. And then 6 3/8. So same as our other one. I believe it was the exact same. That's my 6 3/8 right there. Cutter. Okay, so there is our fold. I'll just move this to the side for a second. Okay, so then what you can do is all you're going to do is fold in half because we did the 4 1/4. So your first one. Everybody's okay? I'm out of camera. Where am I out of camera? My card? There we go. Yeah, sure, Deborah. So what we did is we started with our 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock. The scoring lines, of course, the scoring lines were 4 1/4. So basically it was the halfway mark. And then 6 3/8. So those were the 2 scoring lines, 4 1/4 and 6 3/8. Thanks, Linda. Good. Okay, that's okay. You got it. Got the scoring. Perfect. All right, so now all you're going to do is you're just going to flip up the second score line. Okay, so we scored it first in half at the 4 1/4 mark, and then we scored it at 6 3/8, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to fold that up just like that. So that's, if you look on the top, looking down in the camera, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, everybody okay? And again, I would use my bone folder or my burnisher or whatever just to give that a little bit of an extra oomph. Okay, and then what you can do is this 4 1/4 inch piece that we cut separately up here, we are going to attach that onto here. And this is what is forming our base for our easel. So if you look at that, we're going to attach this with either sequin tape, a tape runner, glue, whatever you want to use, but do it flat. And then that, see, that forms our little easel, just like that. So we'll build our base first and then we'll decorate it. So I'm just going to use my tape runner and I'm just going to do lines just like that. Okay, so I'm just attaching that flush to the top. And by attaching that flush to the top, that when you fold that down, when you go down like that, then it is flat, square. Good. And that is our little easel part, the base. Okay, so now let's just put this to the side. And then we're going to build our topper to go onto this piece, okay, onto our base. So we're going to cut another piece of white cardstock, and we want it to be 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So just under the, just over 4, under the 4 1/4, 4 1/8. 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. The next piece we are going to cut is a piece of pink glitter or foil, or you can use your gold if you had extra, whatever you want to use, or cardstock, and we're going to cut it 4 by 4. So the one that I used this glitter paper. I spoke to Diane about it this morning. She's hoping we're going to get more, but we don't know for sure, and I'm not sure on Courtney's supply either. But it was this Card Deco Essentials. I know a lot of you purchased it at Clipper Street for sure, and this pink matched perfectly. So hopefully we're going to be able to get more of it, but again, you may have another gold foil or a pink foil or something you want to use too. So this is the one that I used, and so I'm just going to cut a piece that is 4 by 4. It cuts so nice, and it doesn't shed or anything too, which is just awesome. So yeah, maybe we will see some more of it. You just never know. So as you can see, this piece here is going to be just a tiny little white mat on there, just like that. Okay. So then what we could do is we can go ahead and attach this if we like. So we're going to just do this one flat. So the pink onto our white, just flat. So the pink glitter or cardstock or whatever you're using onto the white piece flat. Just like that. Good. Okay, so then we are going to, the homework that I had given you was to cut 2 pieces of embossed paper. And so this one here is, I believe I did it 3 7/8, asked you to cut it to 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And the reason behind that is because then you have just a tiny little pink border on the outside of it. So just like that. And I find that attaching to glitters, if you use glue, generally glue works just fine onto glitter. And especially if it's embossed paper. So what I like to do is, this is where I like to add my dimension. So I will put my foam behind my embossed piece and attach it to my glitter that way. I just find it attaches a little bit better. And that way I'm not worrying about it coming off, or I think glue generally will work pretty good, but I know sometimes the you know, some of the tabs or things like that, they don't necessarily stick all that well to the glitter paper. So all I'm doing is just pulling off my tabs on my embossed piece, and I'm going to attach my embossed piece to my pink glitter. Just like that. So pretty. So springy with the flowers and that too. Okay, so then this piece here that we have done, again, as you can see, it's just a tiny bit narrower around from your base. So if that's your card base that we have here, that we put that extra piece of cardstock onto, now we're going to attach this onto that piece. And again, I would do that with foam. If you wanted to do it flat, you could. I'm always, you know, never sure if you're going to be mailing cards or if you just don't want to have the bulk. That's entirely up to you. But I like to have a little bit of it on the outside because we don't want to put the bulk on the inside, or the easel itself has a problem kind of standing up. So good to be able to build it on the outside of our card. My little tabbies here. Okay, so that, yes, Leslie Ann, this is my favorite embossing folder. This is the floral, what's this one called? This one is my Flower Frenzy. And as most of you know, I use this one a lot. I use this one at Christmas time because it lends itself so well. It's a beautiful embossing folder. It's a 3D one from Spellbinders. So yeah, it is one of my favorites too. So that is attached now. So there is the start of our easel on the top. So we've got our topper done. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing on the inside. Let me just grab my dimensions here. Oh, we'll do our pink floral because we may as well continue on with our topper. Okay, so I use this pink floral piece. I had a little bit of it extra here from when I was creating, but you've got your full sheet in that too. I use the pink floral. I just thought it lended itself nicely with the egg, but again, you can use any of the ones that you have in your little paper kit too. And all you need to do for this one is cut a piece that's 1.5 inches wide and 3 3/4. And it just, to me, gave a little bit. You can just stick the egg on directly. That's no problem at all. But I just thought it gave a little bit of a nice dimension, and it sort of tied in with the floral on the embossing folder and the floral in the pattern paper. Okay, so that one you should be able to just attach because it's not going on to glitter or anything. You can just attach with your glue or your tape printer, whichever you want. I did it flat because your egg is going to be popped up. And so all I did was I kind of left this one, actually on my original, I left quite a little border there. This one that I've just stuck it down on, I left a little bit less. It's entirely up to you. I just like the fact that you still see the white kind of around the outside of it. Just kind of finishes it off a little bit nicer. Okay, so there's that guy. So we'll do our egg in a second. Let's go ahead and do our cuts for our inside piece. This is our inside right here. Okay, so we are not going to do, there is a difference on the top one. We used an extra piece of white cardstock. The inside, we don't need to do that because basically we've got our base here for our glitter to go onto. So I just eliminated, I didn't bother doing an extra piece of cardstock. You could if you wanted to, or you could add another layer. It's entirely up to you. So again, grab a piece of your pink glitter or foil or whatever you're using, and you're going to cut one more piece 4 by 4. Okay, and you are going to take your white embossed, that again, because I asked you to do 2 sheets for homework, and this one is going to go on the inside of your card. So when you have your easel open, just like this, you see the continuity of the embossing folder on the top and the bottom. So it kind of just flows through. So yeah, if I was you, I would use glue. You can try your tape runners. Sometimes they work. It's just sometimes attaching stuff to glitter, it makes it a little bit harder. But this is a very fine glitter, and your foil, you wouldn't have any problem at all. A very fine glitter that doesn't shed, so it'll probably be just fine. So you're just going to mat your embossed piece onto the pink glitter, just like that. This is for our inside. And we are going to attach this to the inside of our easel. So you just want to make sure that it's centered so that when your little easel opens, you've got it there. Okay, so you can just put, and do it flat, because like I said a few minutes ago, if you I'm losing my mind. When you go to make it into an easel, if it is popped up, sometimes the easel tends to flip back. So it's better to have it flat onto the base of your card. So just like that. Okay, so there is our easel. Good. Everybody okay? Yeah, so the one I used today, Sharon, is the Flower Frenzy from Spellbinders, the 3D one. I see a spoiler alert has just come through that tomorrow's Crafty Hour release may include an embossing folder. It just may. And considering I am doing that Crafty Hour that may include an embossing folder, I won't say anymore. But anyways, it's a really nice one. You'll be thrilled to see tomorrow's Crafty Hour release. Okay, so there is our easel. So we see it kind of generally pops up like that. So that's why we have to put something in place. So let's do our egg first, because then if we have our decorating done, then we can do our other part after. Oh, sorry, no, I had one more thing that I did. So this corner, what I did to just add a little bit of extra to the inside of my the inside. So I thought that when this opened like this, then you would see a little bit more of the flower paper. So I thought that was kind of cute. So all I did, and that's what this dimension is down here, is I used an extra little piece of my pink floral paper that you've got, and I cut a square that was 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So just like that. And then I put it on diagonally. So just like that on my trimmer. Make it really easy. It's not, or use a pair of scissors, whatever you want to do. But all you're going to do is you're just going to slice that in half. Okay, so you've got 2 pieces. We're only going to use one of them. And it was just 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 and then cut on the diagonal. And then I just stuck that in place. So I just grabbed a little bit of my glue or my my tape runner, and just stuck that down here. Get rid of this. Easier on the green. And I just stuck that down there in the corner. And I left a tiny little border again of my embossing folder. Again, I think that just finishes it a little bit. And I grabbed another one of our dies. These dies were die cuts, I should say, were so cool because they are a chipboard too, so they're nice and thick. I just popped a couple of pop dots behind it and put it there just to finish it, and added a little gem in the center. You could put a sentiment, you could do whatever you wanted to, but I thought this lended itself. Again, we're sort of staying with the floral theme throughout the whole card. Okay, so then the only other thing that you need to do is we need to put our egg on top, and I did that with foam tape. I have my little egg here somewhere. And I just popped pop dots in behind my egg. I don't know where my little egg went. Oh well, doesn't matter. So all you're going to do is just attach some foam tape, foam squares, whatever, in behind your egg. And I attached my little button, my gems. And again, you could put as many as you want. You've got a whole whack of gems in the different colors. I stuck with the mauve because I wanted to stick with the mauve buttons. And so what I did for having the buttons on, so I have my egg, and then what I kind of do when I'm making an easel card is I push it back to where I would like to have it. So if you look at this and I'm pushing it back, okay, that's where I'd like to have it sit up when I do it. If I want to have it more down like that, then that's where you're going to put your little stopper. So it's entirely up to you how you want to go ahead and do it. I think I would make sure that it's going past the corner of my patterned piece. So even if it's just past, at least it gives it that kind of, you'll be able to see your pattern piece, and they tie in on the top and the bottom. Okay, so I just used, what I used is our buttons, because again, you've got all these awesome buttons, a whole selection of them. You could use the different colors. I stuck with the mauve, and the only thing I did was I used glue on my buttons on the top, so up here, and I used a piece of foam tape or a pop dot on my button in here, only because then it made it come up a little bit more, and that's what holds my easel in place. You probably could do it flat, but I just think that gives that little tiny bit more of a dimension to be able to hold it in place for you too. And it really doesn't add a lot of bulk to the card when it's popped down too. One thing I didn't do on this one, and I probably would have, so I just thought I'd make mention of it, is when you're doing this, I kind of would have rather have had, I don't know how I can show you this. Oh, I can, there. Okay. Have these kind of coming exactly diagonal. They're off a tiny bit. It really doesn't make a big difference to me. But I think what I would have started with is do my one down here on my foam, then attach my buttons on the top. So I've got this, then I could have this one, then I could have that one. Or you could go both ways. You could have one on either side, whatever you wanted to do, because these ones are really just for decoration. Your ones on top. This guy here is the most important one to be able to hold your easel in place for you. And yeah, like I say, then you could just embellish with your gems. You could add gems on the inside. And then as far as writing on this card, I would either, once I had it done, I would either include just a plain white strip in here, a plain of white cardstock, write my sentiment and have it there. Or you can always write on the back of your card as well. And then you won't have to worry about adding a strip inside. But I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to write on the embossed piece. So yeah, you can just add a little piece of cardstock, even colored cardstock or something would be really pretty too. But I love doing easel cards. I agree with you, Laurel. It's just it's a fun way, and you can even tuck gift cards again inside your card. You could have a gift card sitting here or something. So when the easel popped up, there's your gift card, and they can take that out, but they still enjoy the little easel card. And to me, it's always like a little gift in itself. So you've got lots of choice in those for sure. So that's the easel card too. And again, you can play around with it, add more. You can change this, doesn't have to be the egg. You've got lots of different choices for you as well. And just make sure that we wait to sort of see what Courtney is using tonight as well for her crafty hour. And I'll mention about that in one sec. So those are the 2 cards that I did today. I'll show you my inspiration card that that I have done, and I have the dimension. I have the directions already done out for you. So this will be posted, if not tonight, tomorrow. This was another fun card. I just felt that it took quite a bit of time, a little bit of extra time, and I didn't want to be rushing with it. So I just did this one. This one again, all I did was I used that same embossing folder in the back, but in a bigger size. The foil is just, or the glitter is just so pretty, and it just matches so nice. Again, this little guy here, this is one of your dies, the cute little floral one, and this is one of the cutouts off the piece of paper. I added, or your paper pad, I added the little gems just to embellish, and more of the little pattern paper with the bunny on it as well. So I have the dimensions all done up for that guy, and I will post that one, like I say, either tonight or tomorrow for you too. So you do complete 3 cards. It's just that I really don't like rushing. I hope you guys are great with that idea. I just would rather have it so that you can craft along and not be rushed, because I really know that people don't want to be feeling under the pressure to be able to complete them all. This card here, the card base was 6 3/4 by 10, so it was 5 inches score, so pretty well 5 by 7. Yes, a little bit under 5 by 7, but I think it turned out really nice. But again, I'll give you the dimensions for sure on that, so you'll be able to complete it as well. The other card that I did, and this card, I didn't do dimensions or anything on it. I just wanted to show it to you. A lot of you over the last little while have been totally into these dies, these card deco essential dies. I use the plain round and then this stitched round. And it's just so cool to be able to create with them. I know there's squares and there's circles. And so what I did for this one I used, and again, I've just kind of quickly done some dimensions that I will post for it. But this is using all of those dies. So you have your plain, then you have the stitch, then you have the plain and the stitch. And the stitching is so cool with it being a double stitch. So I just did my embossing folder in the background, matted it again in the pink foil, used my pink in this, as well as this guy here was one of the dies. So he fit perfectly with one of the plain circle. These ones are an essential. If you've got plain round circle dies, they're just awesome. And just onto a card base. And this, again, was your pattern paper. You could do whatever other one you wanted to do as well. So I will post that. This one, I really just had like a couple of little tips on how to put this one together. So that's kind of my feeling on doing it. I hope you guys are happy with this today. It was a lot of fun. I love Easter cards, and I love the fact that spring is coming. A couple of announcements. Don't forget Courtney does her Crafty Hour, which is always absolutely amazing, at 5 p.m. Pacific tonight. Make sure you join Crafty Hour Creations. I see the pop-ups come up all the time that more and more of you are asking, and that's just awesome because it's a great way to get info on homework. And I know a lot of you also post even if you don't do it now and you do it in 6 months and you say, hey, I used this and this is what I used in Crafty Hour number 10. And people just love seeing those things and your ideas and your inspiration as well. So it's fantastic if you can keep doing that. Join Crafty Hour Creations because it's a great way to do it. Don't forget our next Crafty Hour 36, is Thursday, March the 21st with Diana and Courtney. I think we may have a couple of kits left on that one. That one is using the pop-up flower pot cards. And Deanna, I had talked to Deanna this morning. These ones were add-ons. She said that I think have about 5 left in our store for these. And these guys here, as you can see right here, are on their way. So you can always call the store and get those set aside. But the kit itself for the class, I believe, is we only have a few left. So you can always touch base on that as well. The other thing is Crafty Hour Reveal is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Watch it. It is amazing. It's a really cool one. And like I say, with the hint on the embossing folder, you won't be able to go wrong. And you know me with embossing folders. So that is 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow with Diana, and she'll be revealing that. Thank you for joining me today. I'm a little bit over. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, you can always post in Crafty Hour Creations, and I'm always happy to answer anything that you might have as well. So take care. Have a nice day. Enjoy the sunshine if it's sunshining by you. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Have a good day.